So you're a Wurundjeri elder.
Mm-hmm.
How does that role get bestowed on you?
Well, years ago when elders were alive, like Auntie Winnie and Nana, Julia Jones, I was selected by them to go into the government and be trained up as a white archaeologist, while also being trained by the old people in cultural ways that were still left. When we were put on Aboriginal reserves, we weren't allowed to speak the customs anymore, and we weren't allowed to speak the lingo, and if we did, really bad things would happen to Indigenous people. So what the old people did was they snuck what they could through, and so I was very lucky. Before they died, I was chosen, I was taken in. There were 6 positions, and I was the only woman. At the time I didn't let them know I was gay because I thought that would really hamper things. But I found out that the woman who previously had the job was Charmaine Clark. I don't know if you heard of Charmaine. Yeah, she ran for the Australian Greens. We literally got there, but not enough votes. But so this position's always actually been held by gay women, and I work a lot on Aboriginal reburials. I think I was the only woman in Victoria. I went and spoke to the old men before I did it, and there's some ceremony and customs you've got to do before that. And we believe the earth is our mother, so you go back into your mother's arms and you're safe. So reburials are mainly bones that are being dug up by science people or explorers. What I do is I go around and look at Aboriginal sites such as Ben Road out at Dandenong. It's the first Pleistocene site we've actually found in Victoria. A gentleman, or Dr. Jim Allen, was working on it, and he said we've got a date there of 35,000 years. So what I do is I go out and work on these jobs, and we actually look at them and try and implement ways of utilising them as cultural resources. Because to Wurundjeri people, not only is the bush a great place to be, but it's our chemist, it's our supermarket, and it's our university. And what we're trying to do is get these sites and try and get white people to be able to appreciate them from a cultural aspect. Because my mum always says that if you call yourself an Australian and you're born on mother country and you take the food from there, you become like our adopted brothers and sisters. So our history, our background, your background too, it's really important that we teach it to you and you understand it. Because we've got the oldest living culture in the world. We believe when Bunjil created the world, he created us too. Aboriginal people see archaeology as a necessary tool in proving the stories that the old people say. See, we've got all these missing little jigsaw puzzles. We've got a little bit here about the Bundine woman and women's business, but, you know, a little bit like that's missing. And by digging these Aboriginal sites back up, we find things that were thrown away, and by finding these things and placing everything back together, we can get a story of what truly transpired before contact.
What area does the Wurundjeri land cover?
Melbourne, and approximately 150 mile radius, but might be 150 miles that way, might be 45 that way, you know, depending on where you're going. But basically, the Great Divide, Goulburn River, Mordialloc Creek and Werribee River is the basic Wurundjeri boundary.
Yep. Yep. Dreamtime says that the Aboriginal people have always been here. Is that correct?
Always have been here and always will be here. You look at the Bible, you look at the Quran, everybody says God created, Bunjil created the land, and from the land he created the people. So no matter what story you look at, we've always been here since the beginning of time. The Bible's a lot like the Dreamtime stories, which is a lot like the Quran. And if you look at the Bible says, everybody mucked up and God flooded the earth and Noah come along. Well, you look at the Dreamtime and it's very similar, you know. Bunjil come along and there was these 7 naughty women, so he got them and he threw them up in the sky and they united in a flame. And even today, white society sees them as the 7 sisters in the solar system. And like if you look at Greek Orthodox, they've got a similar story about the 7 stars. So it doesn't matter whether you look at which one, all religious stories are based on the same sort of principle. It's just the environment at the time and what was around that changed what was used as props.
There's been a lot of talk over the years about reconciliation. What do you think needs to be done in order for reconciliation to happen?
Well, in the case of Wurundjeri, we signed a treaty a long time ago with Batman. It'd be nice if the government would just at least recognise that treaty, and recognition that it once was and still is, Aboriginal land, you know. We don't want to take the bush away from anybody. We want to share it, you know. And if you look at housing developments, there's not enough open space there. You're leaving kids locked up in rooms. And what we're saying again is you know, the recreation space, that's where the children learn. That's your university too. Reconciliation is when everybody, not only Aboriginal, not only white, not only Asian, it's when we all walk as one and we can hold hands and look at a future that's productive for everybody and our children safe.
Do you have any suggestions for how individuals can work towards this?
Reconciliation starts by just two people talking. Reconciliation as an adjective is like you and me now talking as one. Reconciliation doesn't have to be something big. Reconciliation can be just helping a black fella out, or a black fella helping a white fella out, or an Asian out. It's when the two work together for a really good outcome. It's when we get rid of all the racism out of Victoria. When we're not racist, you know, when we've got a really nice environment to live in, and when the children are safe, then we won't only have reconciliation between black and white, we'll have reconciliation with everybody, but I don't think we're ever going to achieve that. I think, you know, the right man's basically evil, and there'll always be that bad penny like John Howard who will stop you from achieving anything that's half decent. Yeah. I get into a lot of civil rights things and protests in the city, especially the refugees, and because I think it's really bad. Aboriginal people can relate to refugees on concentration camps because, as you know, basically that's where we were on contact with white people.
And it's also unnecessary. The long detention.
How can you do that to children?
How can you do it to anybody?
Oh, look, adults are big and tough enough, and you shouldn't do it to adults, right? But after having kids, how could you do that to a little baby? How could you... Come on, Johnny, have a heart. It worries me where we're heading. And like me talking today and highlighting a few of these issues, you know, which are really controversial, no one else seems to care. And I think when you're talking, like, as a lesbian at these sorts of things, people don't sort of take you as seriously either, and you'll get the occasional rally and all that, and you'll be able to open a rally, but when actually doing the conferences, they never seem to approach me to speak on these issues themselves in a conference, so I'd love to have the opportunity to do that.
Do you think that's maybe because you're a lesbian, because you're a woman, you don't have the authoritative voice or something?
I think it's because I'm gay. I feel a lot that, you know, because I'm gay, I'm putting it on the back burner a lot. Yeah. Like if it's political, if it's a little bit dangerous, it's a little bit out there, I'm normally the one out in front. But once that bit's over and the limelight's there, you'll see other Wurundjeri women walk up and get the limelight for what I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit frustrating. But, you know, if at the end what you're achieved, then, you know, it really doesn't matter how you achieve it. My partner always says, oh, you're just doing it for the glory. Not really, but just once, you know, just once, you know, I'd like someone to recognise what I've done and not see someone else's name on it.
Thank you very much, Annette, for coming and talking to us about the issues you've faced and about your company.
My company, Urban Colours Arts. Yep. Actually, we're in the yellow pages if you want to look, but it's the first Indigenous gay company out there who does archaeological surveys, and even though we've offered to cut the price by a considerable amount, we're still having trouble getting contracts 12 months down the track. So, you know, if you want to give a gay girl a break, give us a try.
Let's hope that improves.
Yeah.
You're watching Studio Q. Thank you very much.
Thank you.